Hello, I'm Linda, and this is No Frills ASMR. I am here today to discuss a movie that I watched last night called, I actually don't know if it's Caddo or Caddo. Caddo Lake? I think Caddo Lake. And I didn't know anything at all about this movie. I just looked up new movies streaming. I may have put spooky movies streaming because I was kind of looking for a Halloween. And this movie came up as a brand new streaming movie. And it is on what used to be HBO, but's now called Max. And so I didn't look up any information about it. I just was like, okay, I'm clicking. There was a picture of a cute guy on the, image, whatever. And it said, all I saw is it said, when an 8-year-old girl disappears, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, sold. Let's watch it. So I'm going to talk about it. I will let you know when I'm going to get into spoilers because I'm going to spoil this thing, because part of the reason I want to talk about it is because I'm trying to make sense of it. And if you've seen it, you know what I mean. After I watched it, I was like, hold on a minute. I gotta think this through. So I'll let you know. But basically, I would say if you haven't seen it, go watch it. It was pretty good. It's not the best movie I've ever seen, but the acting was really good. I thought all of the acting across the board was great. It's a beautiful movie to look at. And I had some popcorn and a little chocolate bar and cuddled up on the couch, and I thought it was a great watch. It entertained me. So, yeah, and it's not spooky. It's not dark. I know a lot of people might see the disappearance of an 8-year-old girl and be like, oh, I don't want to watch that, but it doesn't get into really sad or anything like that. It's kind of exciting, I would say. Yeah, so I think you should watch it if you'd like to see something kind of interesting. It has I'll tell you the names of the characters. So the main two characters are a girl, and her name is Ellie. And Ellie is played by an actress who I wasn't familiar with. Well, I didn't think I was familiar with her, but her name is Eliza Scanlon. And I looked her up, and she was in the movie Little Women. She played I think she's the youngest sister, Beth, who dies, the Greta Gerwig version of Little Women. And that's probably the only thing I'd seen that actress in, but I actually didn't recognize her at all. But she's excellent. And then the next main character is a guy named Paris. And he is played by an actor named Dylan O'Brien. And he's the one who I told you on the thing was kind of cute. He's a cutie. I wasn't familiar with him either. He was in, I can't even remember the names of the movies, stuff that I wasn't familiar with. I do know that he is playing, there's a new movie about Saturday Night Live that's in theaters right now that I think I might go see. But he's playing Dan Aykroyd, and I bet he's good because he was really good. These two were both excellent actors. And then I'm writing down the character names because later we're going to need to know. There is a young girl, the 8-year-old girl, and her name is Anna. There is Anna's mom, whose name is Celeste. there is a girlfriend to Paris who, when she first showed up, I was like, this movie takes place in Caddo Lake, which is an actual place in Texas. I looked it up. And there are like cypress trees that grow there. And the main way, at least in the movie, people get around is on boats. They take little like skiff, boats to go from place to place. And it's beautifully shot in this movie. I think it looks like so cool. You're like, ooh, that's cool. And I have been to places like this in Georgia. I'm trying to think, in Florida. And they look like that. It's like so cool. Like swampy cool. But anyway, where was I? Oh, I know. That when the next character is named C, and she is this gorgeous redhead woman with like long flowy red hair. And when you first see her in the movie, I kind of thought, yeah, I'm sure there are a lot of girls who look like this walking around in the swamp. But whatever. Okay. And then there is, okay, so C is Paris's girlfriend. I should have put these in order. Ellie is Celeste's daughter. And Anna is the 8-year-old girl who lives with Celeste and hangs out with Ellie all the time. And at first, you're not quite clear, I think, on who she is. But you pretty quickly learn that she is, oh shoot, my pen's dying. Daniel's daughter. And Daniel, it seems, has married, I think, Celeste. So Daniel is Ellie's stepfather. So in the beginning, Ellie and Anna are tooling around in the boat going home from school, which is interesting, just to imagine that. It's kind of interesting. And they seem very close. But then they have dinner with Daniel's family and his brother and all the family. And you can tell Ellie feels a little out of place. She just feels like her mom married this new guy and she doesn't quite fit in. I haven't spoiled anything yet. Really, this is nothing, but stop watching because I might get into spoiler territory by accident. So I'm trying to not. I'll try. I'll try to tell you a little bit more without spoiling. But if you really don't want to know anything, then just stop watching and go watch the other thing. I'll tell you when I'll get into really big spoiler territory. Right now, I'm just setting it up. But if you don't want to know anything, then don't. Okay, so Anna is Ellie's. Anna and Ellie are together on the boats. Celeste and Daniel live together, and he has his family over. They're married. I'm assuming they're married. I'm not sure they ever tell us that, but I think they're now married. So this is Celeste. Ellie is Celeste's daughter, and Daniel's her stepfather. And Anna is Daniel and Celeste's daughter. So, and this is stepfather. Okay. And then Paris seems to be dating or hanging out with anyway C, who's the pretty girl I told you about. Okay. Are those all our main characters? Let me think. Oh, and then there is a character named Ben. And Ben is Paris's father. Okay, the opening scene of the movie shows Paris, who's our young man. He is in a car, I mean, this is the very first opening scene, so it's not too much of a spoiler. But like I said, if you don't want any spoilers. And the car is underwater, and he's trying to unhook the person in the passenger seat from her seatbelt, and he just can't. He runs out of breath, and they show him swim up, and it was his mom in the car, and she died. And so he is very distraught. Okay. All right. Now we're going to get into spoilers, so definitely click off. So that happened. The car accident, I believe, happened in 1999. This is when the car went off the bridge. Okay. So at the beginning, we see Paris coming up, and his mom has died. And then we see Paris working out on the water. And him and C, she says she was going to go back to Houston, I think, but they end up spending the night cuddling, whatever, we don't know. Apparently having sex. And the whole time I was like thinking, oh, there are no cell phones. So I was trying to put a time stamp on it because I don't think there were any. And you're kind of flipping back and forth between Paris and Ellie. But when you see Ellie, who gets in a fight with her mom, well, really, her mom kind of is total jerk to her, I think. Her mom's not being cool. And her mom doesn't want her to get the death certificate for her dad because he just disappeared. So I guess maybe there wasn't a death certificate because he just disappeared. But anyway, so Ellie goes over to her friend. I think her friend's name is Claire, and spends the night. And Claire is on her cell phone. So I was like, oh, okay, we are in cell phone territory. All right, let's just go full spoiler because I can't try to, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, we just got to get into this. All right, so Ellie is in the year 2022. Paris is in the year 2005. Whenever the water level goes low, that's when the time, what do you call it? Time warp loop thing opens up. And we figured that out because Paris starts thinking that his mom's accident wasn't from a seizure, but had something to do with the low water levels. But see, in 1999, I couldn't figure that part out. Like, how do her seizures have anything to do with? I don't know. But anyway, so there's so many things. Let's just go over the basics. Okay. So Paris goes back to 1952. He learns from those old men. And that's where he finds Anna, who is now hurt. And he takes Anna to the old men, and the old men save her. Okay. So then Ellie goes back to 2005, and it's kind of interesting because they have that split screen where Paris is driving in his boat and Ellie is driving in his boat. And when she drives through, the bridge that they go under is totally collapsed. And when he drives through, the bridge is still standing. I thought little things like that were pretty good. And then Ellie puts the rope on, which I feel like I've seen in some other time travel situation, movie or TV show. But I'm not exactly sure how that helps, except that rope, remember at the end, she's following the rope and she drops the necklace. Well, there's a scene earlier in the movie where Paris, the guy he's working with, the motor got strung up with the rope, and he pulled the rope off, and that's when he found the necklace. So I was trying to figure out, were there like 2 necklaces? But I guess he had the necklace. But Ellie had gotten the necklace that he had from C's rearview mirror. She dropped it, and so he got another necklace. And I was like, wait, so you can double things up? But we know you can because Ellie one time, and this was real confusing, somehow she went from 2022 to 2005 back to 2022, but a little bit earlier, and she saw herself, which I think happened in Back to the Future, so it must be possible to do that. I'm making this more complicated. Oh my God. Anyway, okay. So these are the times when the water level has gone low enough for them to be able to go through this portal. And Anna just accidentally went through it and ended up in the 1950s. Okay, so anyway, so then Anna ends up in 1952. And Paris had dropped her off with people, so she's not with anybody. So she ends up marrying somebody, we don't know who, I don't think. Do we? Wait, let me think about that. Because, oh no, we do know who. Ben's dad. I mean, Paris's dad, Ben. Okay. So Anna ends up marrying Ben. And Ben and Anna have Paris, the baby. Paris grows up and he ends up with C. Paris, without knowing it, because he went through the time loop before he knew, has a baby. And the baby is Ellie. And Ellie's mom goes by Celeste. But Celeste and C are the same person. And then Daniel, who ends up marrying Celeste once Paris has died and is, or at least is unaccounted for. Celeste and Daniel have a baby who is Anna. So Anna's dad is Daniel. So that's why at the end of the movie, Ellie says to Daniel, "We are family through Anna." And he says, "I know, we're Rice family." But really, Daniel is Ellie's great grandfather. And Anna is Ellie's grandmother. And Daniel is also Ellie's stepfather. And Anna is Ellie's stepsister. Now, you'd kind of think that when Ellie first saw C, she would have recognized that that's her mother right away. I mean, it was odd from the beginning. I was like, why are there 2 long red-haired people? But, okay. But, you know, I mean, because we're only talking, how many years are we talking? 17 years. I mean, you think she'd recognize her own mother, but I guess she did after a minute. It just took her a minute. And I could understand that because you wouldn't right away be like, hey, you're my mom. But anyway. Okay. So, and Ellie is in 2022. Paris is in 2005. And Anna is in 1952. And the reason that like that alligator got chopped in half was because the portal, when it closes, you saw the rope go and it gets just cut. And that's what happened to the alligator. And why some of the moths, I guess, can get through sometimes. Because remember at the beginning when they're having dinner, and Daniel's brother, who is Anna's uncle, who by the way, I thought that was pretty good. They kind of made him like have all these tattoos, and maybe you got a little bit of, could he be creepy? So when she disappears, there's that moment of like, I don't know, that guy, the uncle seemed kind of creepy, but he actually wasn't. And he just said that moth was extinct, so you found something interesting. So that was kind of interesting. And then when Paris was in 1952, when he's handing off Anna, he looks over and they're still building the dam. So Caddo Lake wasn't even a thing. He said, "Is this Caddo Lake?" And they're like, "It's Caddo Farm," or whatever. I forget what they said. But it wasn't even a lake yet. Yeah. I thought it was kind of interesting. It's like the time loop. Like, I mean, Paris has to die like he did. Otherwise, when Celeste sees him, it could mess up the Daniel and her. I mean, just think about if he knew. I don't know. That'd be confusing. And here's the problem, though. If it's a loop, so Anna has to go back in time in order for Paris to be born, in order for Ellie to be born. But how could Anna be born in 2022 if she wasn't, you know what I mean? These loops never work. Time travel never makes sense in my brain. Because if Anna wasn't born in 2022, she couldn't have time warped back as an 8-year-old. So the loop doesn't work. Anyway, but so what was going on with the seizures? Why did she have a seizure in 1999? Did something happen? Is that when she was born? Oh my God, wait a minute. How many years? 2000. No. That would make her 20. Oh, I was thinking maybe it was when she was born. Why did she have a seizure in 99? No, that wouldn't be it because it would have been in here. What? I don't know. I'm not sure. I just feel like that car accident, I can't figure that out. The necklaces, I guess that was just so we know they're all connected. Obviously, there's a ton of coincidence in this movie, like a ridiculous amount of coincidence. Because when Paris goes from 2005 to 2022, he ends up at the hospital due to circumstances. And he sees his father at the hospital. Like, what? I'm surprised his dad's still alive because his dad was having treatments in 2005 for something. But he happens to be there and he talks to him. I'm like, coincidence much. And then he goes out to the parking lot and he happens to steal the car that Daniel and Celeste are driving. And Celeste notices him, but he doesn't look at her, I don't think. So I'll give him a pass for not recognizing her. But that's like some major coincidence stuff going on there. But as long as you forget about that, it's fine. Who cares? Oh yeah, and what was with when they went, the sheriff shows up at Daniel and Celeste's house when Anna has disappeared in the year 2022. And the sheriff says, well, we need to talk about Celeste having Child Protective Services called on her. What was that about? Because of the way she treated Ellie? The fight they got in with I don't know. Like, they didn't explain that. I didn't quite get that. Am I missing something? But it was kind of sweet because Ellie, when she was at the dinner with Anna and Daniel and Celeste and Daniel's brother, whose name I don't recall, she felt like an outsider because it was like all of his family. But then at the end, she goes to Daniel and she's like, we're a family. So that was kind of sweet. And he's like, we've always been family. So, I mean, honestly, it's kind of on her anyway. I don't know. I'm sure I'm missing stuff. I'm sure there are things I don't know. But so basically, our line of people is Daniel, and then Anna, and then Celeste. Right? No. Sorry. And then Paris, and then Ellie. And Celeste is with. Wait a minute. If Celeste and Sierra are the same person, Celeste and Daniel had Anna. No. Because Daniel brought Anna into the family. So Celeste is not related. Whew, I thought for a minute that we had real incest trouble. No, Daniel has Anna from a previous relationship. Okay. Whew. So I was like, wait a minute. So Daniel has Anna from a previous relationship. So Daniel has Anna. Anna has Paris. Paris and Celeste have Ellie. Yeah. So there you go. So did you guys watch this movie? After I was finished, I was like, I have to map it out, and I may as well map it out with you because I thought it was fun. I had a fun time, and I actually thought about it. I was I have another story about this, I think, but I was basically waiting for a meeting. I'll tell you about sometime, and I kept thinking about it. I'm like, wait, so who's who? But anyway, I think we've got it now. C and Paris, Celeste and Daniel. Yep. All right. Well, so the only thing I just don't think I really know is, are the seizures related somehow? Because the way Paris kind of put it together was that she had seizures whenever the water level went low. But then the only time periods we know about it being really low are these. So what does that have to do with the seizure? I'm not sure. So Ben was, he was with Anna. Okay. Yep. I wonder if Ben knew. And also, here's the other question I have. Anna was 8 years old. Did she ever, tell Ben? Oh, wait a minute. Did Ben ever say anything? Because the one time he told Paris he threw stuff away because he's like, it's better to not know. So maybe Ben knew something. Because Anna was 8. I mean, she'd remember that, her friends had cell phones and stuff. Unless something happened to her head, but they showed her get a thing in her side, not her head. But could she have told Ben? Now I almost have to rewatch the movie and see if Ben knew anything. Did he ever make a comment to let us know? I don't know. Anyway. All right, guys. Well, there we go. We've solved it. All right, let me know in the comments if I got anything wrong or if you have thoughts on any of it. I think I may have to go to the movie theater and see that Saturday night movie. I love Saturday Night Live. I mean, going back. I used to watch it when I was pretty young, probably too young. So I'm kind of excited to see that movie. I hope it's good. It's one night, the very first night of making Saturday Night Live, and it just follows it in real time. And I thought that sounded pretty interesting. And this guy, Dylan O'Brien, is in it, so I kind of want to see it. means, though, since C and Celeste are the same person. No, they're not. I was going to say they're sisters, but I keep forgetting Anna isn't a Celeste child.